Podnutz Pro, show number 54. This is one of the many great shows on the Podnutz network, and this is pretty much where we talk about small businesses, everything from routers to switches and firewalls and everything that kind of connects all the PCs together. The co-host of the show, and in my opinion, the star, Mr. Matt Rainey. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Doing okay for now. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Been feels like it shouldn't be Wednesday. Feels like it should be Thursday going into Friday. You know, just one of those weeks.
They're all those weeks. Now I say one of those weeks as being a good week, is what I say. One of those weeks. Otherwise it's just average, like everything else.
Gotcha. All right. So what are we talking about today?
The first thing I want to mention, I talked last week about a few servers that went down. I forget what day it was. I woke up. My daily routine is I wake up, I look at my email because my iPad is also my alarm clock, so it's right there. Turn off my alarm clock, look and read my email to know what's waiting for me already. The people who have already got up early and decided to email me.
Sure.
Kind of set the tone for the day. I think I might have been Monday morning, or I think it was Monday morning. No email. I thought, that's not right.
Yes, sir. Because when it's too quiet, something's broken.
Right. Just like when users call me, my server must be down because I haven't gotten an email.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I tell them the same thing. You know, the day the mail lady passed my house and she didn't put any mail in my mailbox. I wonder if she's broken. It could be nobody mailed me anything, but I'm going to assume the post office is broken. Right. But anyway, I something's wrong. Hit update on my phone to sync it just in case. Can't connect to mail server. Okay. I know something's wrong. I look at my phone because I have an office in my house. With an IP-based phone, goes back to our phone system at the office. It's just an extension of the office phone at my house. That says it's offline. Okay. Something's wrong. So I get up, get dressed, go to the office, and of course my server's off. It's not off. My server's rebooting constantly. And it's not blue screening. I can catch it when it goes into the splash screen, BIOS screen. CPU fan missing, rebooting. That's what it was stuck in. CPU fan rebooting. It's a rack mount case. I pull it, kind of pull the drawer out, open the case, and sure enough, one of the CPU fans is not spinning. Okay, so not a big deal. I think I've got probably 15 old servers in on the bench, or under the bench actually, because when we take a server out of service from a client, they want us to take it. We'll just save it for parts.
Sure.
For occasions like this. I go through all those servers. There's not one CPU fan that matches my server. Not one.
Don't you hate that it is like when you try to look for a piece of RAM and you got like about 50 chips, but they're all not the same, the kind that you need?
Yeah. So, and we have a pretty big parts room. We have boxes of CPU fans, case fans. I'm looking through all that. Nothing. Not one. By this time, another one of the techs came into work. He's helping me look. I showed him I need this. We're looking 45 minutes. We can't find anything. I said, okay. To get us back up running, I just pulled the processor out, went back down to a one processor in the system and booted up fine. So that was my Monday morning. And of course, the phones go off. Not really, but the phones weren't working because the main server was down and people were trying to call. They couldn't get through. And that's how my week started. Hasn't gotten better since.
So did you order a second processor, or?
We found another assembly. We couldn't order the fan. We found the heatsink fan assembly, so we had to order that. And we ordered two just in case one goes down again, because I found a lot of CPU fans that would fit, but they were 3-pin adapters, not 4-pin adapters. And we could have gotten a 4-pin and cut the wires and soldered them, but it was already 8:45 in the morning. We decided to take it out, and we'll just order a new one. So
Cool.
luckily, of course, we had two processors, because if we didn't, we can't run the no processor system. That would
Yeah.
not have worked.
Runs nice and quiet.
So that's how my Monday started.
Okay.
Not too long after we got our server up, one of the things that came in, and I can tell you this: most clients, we have our work order system. Most clients email our support ticket system.
Okay.
That's how tickets get created. They're usually through email with a certain email address we give them, or with a phone call, and the receptionist gets the call and makes a ticket. Some clients only email support. Some clients only call. So when I see the number on the voice caller ID of somebody who normally emails and they're calling, it means one thing:
Server down.
they can't email.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the reason is, they can't email. Sure enough, this person calls. I can't email. Email's down. Okay, that's not usually a big deal, but it was the same thing that happened the previous week for another client. They had a RAID 5 array. All the drives went offline, so email went down. Their main file share was on that drive. It all went down. Now, luckily, I had a tech that was a few minutes away. I said, stop over there. Marked them back online, rebooted, came back up fine, or so it seemed. But Exchange was corrupted. Now, a little background on this server. This server is so old, Dell will not warranty it anymore.
And that's old when they don't want to take any money because
Yes.
your equipment's too old.
They already extended this warranty 2 or 3 times. And the last time they did it, the Dell people told them, this is it. After this, we will not warranty this. Well, that ran out a few months ago.
Is it a Power Edge like 1800?
I think it is a Power Edge 1800. Yeah, they've got the money out of this thing.
Okay.
And actually, it went out of warranty. Last time, it was about 3 days till the warranty expired, and one of the drives in the array failed. So that got replaced under warranty. But they knew at that time this warranty was over. It's beyond able to be warranted, and this goes offline.
Truly end of life, but by force, not choice.
Yeah. So this is not that bad. The server is still bootable. It's a RAID 5 data array and email. It's not that bad. I was able to run the Exchange repair utility on it. It repaired it. I was able to mount it. They had some corruption in another database that is vendor supported, so that vendor is working with them. But you know what happens when you hang on to these old servers so long? This other database is so old. I was working with the tech, and he told me this is a nightmare. He said this version of the software they're on hasn't been supported in over 5 years.
And that
I've had 5 releases since then.
and those are words that you don't want to hear.
Yeah, well, it doesn't bother me.
Right,
It's
but
not my
I mean,
data.
in a production environment, if you're 1 or 2 versions behind, that's common. I wouldn't say that's acceptable. It's common. But when you're 5 years behind,
Mm-hmm. And I remember putting the server in, because the tech I talked to was the same tech I talked to 6 years ago or 7 years ago when we put the server in service. And they didn't want to upgrade to the new version of the software. He said, well, we can still put on this version. At the time was 1 back. They said, we can still put this version on. So they put it on, and that was forever ago. But he said, this isn't going to allow, if they had to get a new server, the version of software they're on isn't going to support what they would need. 2008 server, it's not going to support it.
gotcha.
So I'm getting the steps from my client, what's involved with upgrading this to the new version. He said, really, when I say it's a nightmare, it's a nightmare. Because you have to go from version 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7. He said each one, he said, this is not an upgrade like you stick the CD in and upgrade it. It's not like that. It's specialized software. He said you might have 150,000 lines of code to mesh per version upgrade. I said, okay, so what's the timeline? I need to be able to warn my client about this. I've already warned her, but let me warn her again. What's the timeline? How long would this take? He said, well, if I could dedicate somebody full time, 40 hours a week, he said maybe a month.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. He said not to mention the software is expensive. This new version, they didn't want to upgrade 7 years ago because it was expensive, but it hasn't gotten cheaper over time. So
should have, and I would have been sarcastic and said, okay, I got 4 people that can do 4 rotations. So you're telling me we can do it in a week.
So I told my client, and she said, I know, I'll tell the owners, but what can we do? I said, well, we can upgrade. I said, we don't want to wait. And it's true for anybody. We don't want to, you've got your warnings. This thing has failed a couple of times. We've revived it. Let's be proactive and do what we need to do. But
sure, and what Matt's saying can apply to many different scenarios. You always want to be proactive as an IT department. You don't want to be in a reactive type of mode, because being proactive, you can kind of foresee possible problems that might that come up. But to become a reactive, you're always chasing your tail, and sometimes you can't help but to be reactive. Not that it's your fault, because your job won't give you the resources or tools or the budget in order for you to to properly run a network. But in this case, being reactive hurts.
Yeah. And now being proactive is easy for me to say. I'm not the one spending the money.
Oh, no, I agree.
So I can only advise her what needs to happen, because the day is going to come. It's going to come when this server will have to be replaced. It's not going to last forever. And when it does, what position do you want to be? The money's going to be spent no matter what, either now or later. And if it's going to be later, usually reactive costs more than proactive. So. So that's a couple of things that has happened so far this week, not to mention a million other things, and customers really getting on my, we won't go there right now. We've got some good emails, though.
Yep, got tons of good email, and that's a good segue. The first one is from James. I say, greetings, Matt and Lolo. I don't know who Lolo is. Apparently, he's the third host. No, I'm playing, James. It's Lalo, Lalo. No, it's funny because my name always gets unjacked up at work, and it's very simple, right? Lalo. I get all that type of different interpretations, and to the point where they just jack it up. I'm like, sure, yep, all right, go ahead, just call me that. But anyways, thank you, James, for your awesome email. It says, first some props. I started a one-person IT service about 6 months ago, and discovered Podnutz Pro about 3 months ago. And the show has been incredibly helpful in building my skills. I am completely self-taught and began working on computers 8 years ago as a hobby. It is so exciting to find someone who wants to talk IT. Thank you for the amazing show. Now to the question. I'm looking for an application that I can install on a PC and get email if that machine drops offline for any reason. I have searched around but have been unable to find any websites or client-server software that would allow this kind of functionality. Thanks, James. The one that we use right off the bat is What's Up Gold. That's one that we use for, and then there's one for all the Cisco products, but we won't get into that here. But What's Up Gold screams out at me. You, Matt?
Well, I know we don't do it for workstations. We do it for circuit. GFI has products that we use for circuits that will tell us if the circuit drops off. So GFI may have something similar for workstations. I do know we have monitors for the servers as well. So if the server's not responding, we'll get an alert that says that the server basically hasn't reported in. So if it's offline, that would be that it didn't report in. So I'm guessing the same agent or same alerts can be configured for the workstations. Not for workstations, we don't do it because it would be too many.
Gotcha.
And of course, these are workstation. If a workstation is offline, the user will notice it. So, we need some kind of monitoring agent where the workstations has to report into a centralized server, basically. And if the server doesn't receive that check, it alerts you this computer may be down. It doesn't mean it's down. It just means for whatever reason it can't connect to the monitoring agent.
Yeah, true. And What's Up Gold? Again, I work in a bigger environment that you wouldn't classify small business, but it is